Right now, change my mind. And it took some time, but now I understand. I can be a better man. I never had a chance to be alone.
Hello. Hey, people on Periscope. Hey, people on Facebook. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Just like wait for a few people to come through. Hey, Deanna. Hey, Coretta. Hey, Joe. What up? Hey, everybody. Just going to wait a couple of minutes for, or let's say a few seconds for people to get here. This will be uploaded to YouTube, so if anybody misses anything, you don't have to worry. You can get the information later. Hey, Kelly. Hey, David. How you doing? If you look at the description of the video, if anybody can go to YouTube, to the channel, the link is there. If you can like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. We're also on Snapchat. If you're a Snapchat user, you can Snapchat us at Little Pro and keep abreast of what we're doing. And, of course, we're on Facebook with Little Pro Productions, LLC. That link is there, too. If you haven't liked the page already, make sure you like the page. Oh, thank you, David, for the like. I see you. I see you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. All right, today's class is all about the 3-act structure. So as I said last week, a lot of people have a really great idea in their head, a story that's like brimming over, that's coming from the gut. If you ever had that, you need to follow that. Even if you just write it down informally, that's the first step so that you don't forget what that feeling was when you first got that idea. Because that's nothing but God talking to you, putting that great idea in your head. All right, after you informally write it down, you need to decide which way that you're going to go with it. Is it going to be a book? Is it going to be a short story? Is it going to be a collection of short stories? Is it going to be a movie? Hey, Janelle, decide what genre you want to put your story format in. For this class, this is for screenwriting. So even if you decided to make it a short story or to make it a novel, you can still turn it into a movie because that's the trend in Hollywood right now. Hey, everybody on Periscope. That's the trend right now, is to take works that are already in another format because you'll already have a following and then put it into a movie format. So this is good even if you're not already thinking movie. This is information that you can use on your back burner. Okay, so for screenwriting, you have a 3-act structure. You're going to notice this in any movie you go to see unless it's an independent movie. Usually more creative energies are put in independent movies, and they follow their own structure. Hey, Veronica. But this is for screenplays that are going to be marketed towards Hollywood. Hollywood executives, producers, and their investors want to see the 3-act structure because it's successful. And that's the business side of it. So if you're really creative and you don't want to follow this format, you don't have to. And I encourage you not to. However, if you want to sell to Hollywood, you want to be able to follow the structure. People, producers, and readers will test you when you are marketing your screenplay. They will ask you certain things about the structure to test you to see if you're an actual professional writer. Okay? So, just like the name says, 3-act structure, there are 3 acts. First act, Act 1. This is in every film you've seen, whether it's Disney film, whether it's a horror film, romantic comedy. Act 1. Act 1 is the first 10 to 12 pages of your script. If it's not within the first 10 to 12 pages of your script is probably, hey, the beginning may be too long. Or is it just going to be told, you're going to be told that it's an independent film. Okay, so if you're trying to sell to Hollywood, try and narrow down the first act to the first 10 to 12 pages. producers and readers won't only just, they will only, if they're committed to reading your script, they will only read the first 10 to 12 pages. And if you have not hooked them in the first 10 to 12 pages, kiss that particular producer goodbye. They are not going to read the rest of your script. Now, in the first 10 to 12 pages, you have to introduce all of your major characters. Minor characters can be introduced in the second or third act if necessary, but all of the major characters have to be introduced in the first act. You cannot introduce a major character in the second act. The way, and if you want to like build up suspense, like you really need that person to come alive in the second act. Hey, what's up, Cap? If you want that person to come alive in the second act, find a way to creatively introduce them in the first act of the script. Like you can show just their shoes and build up suspense. Or you can have them write a letter to a character, and it's just a voiceover of their voice or just their hand movement, and maybe somebody narrated, okay? But, and then when they sign it, they sign their name. As moviegoers, we're not thinking about this person because you're going to really blow them up in the second act. But if they have to be introduced in the first act, if they're a major character. Okay? Your first act also, this is mandatory. You have to have a conflict. There has to be a problem that sets the main character on their journey. The 3-act structure is all about the main character solving a problem. You need to introduce that problem in the first act. Okay? So, in the first act, life can be beautiful. You can start off with the problem, what's the name of the television show in New York? What is the name of the television show in New York? Hey, Bruce. What is it? No, the detective show, the court and police show. Yeah, it's like CSI, but it's not CSI. It's neat. Well, anyway, that television show that's based out of New York, and then they're always playing them in syndication, and they always start off with a problem. As soon as the show comes on, you go to the dead body, right? So, Law and Order. Thank you so much, Cap. Woo! I needed that. Kudos to you. They start off with the problem in the TV show. TV show format and screenplay are different, but there are similarities. That show always starts off, hey, everybody on Periscope, they always start off with the problem. Hey, Lana, you want to either start off with the problem in your script, that way it's within that first 10 to 12 pages, or you can start off with life is beautiful. And then when you introduce the problem, that main character has to stop and reevaluate things. They are on their way to solving this problem. Okay? So that's Act 1. Is it Tatiana? Hey, Anthony, how you doing? Okay, now here's Act 2. Act 2 is the largest part of the script. It's pages, and these are just approximates, 13 to 75, 80. Okay? This is where the main character on his or her journey is going to meet hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. You have to put your main character, hey, David, through hell. No, literally. You have to put your character through hell. Like when I'm writing, I actually like my characters, even my challenging characters, even my characters who have to learn something, who are flawed. I love my characters. The main character, of course, as an audience member and as a writer, you're rooting for. But as a writer, you have to put them through hell. This is expected in Act 2. The problem from the first act has to escalate. It has to keep escalating. Now, of course, escalating means going up, right? So the next problem after the first problem in the first act has to go up. Next problem has to be more problematic. Next problem has to be even worse than the previous problems. So it has to escalate. You're building suspense. Things are not going to get better until they get worse. Hey, Leah. So you're putting that character through a whole lot of hurdles. Don't let your love and your passion for the character sway you from this if you want to sell to Hollywood. You want to definitely follow this structure so that when they're interested, oops, first act is on it, you got the hook, they're in the second act, boom, 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 it's escalating. This is the format that they're looking for. Okay? Next act is Act 3. This is where this problem is going to be resolved. Even if you don't have a happy ending, that problem in the first act has to be resolved. Hi, Aisha, Zaisha. It has to be resolved. This is the end. This is the last final page. It's about 20 pages of your script. Okay? There has to be a final battle, a final problem where that main character, this is like the worst part, and that character is usually victorious, but as a creative entity, you do not have to make them. It doesn't have to be paradise if you don't want it to be. Okay? But you can give hope. Okay? It can also be a cliffhanger. So if that main character dies, you can show that main character opening their eyes in the casket or something like that. If it's like something supernatural or if it's a superhero type of thing. So you can have it not be a paradise at the end, but you have to give hope to the viewers. Okay? And don't forget that final battle at the beginning of Act 3, the worst battle that there is, the worst problem, and the character resolves the problem in Act 1. You always have to go back to that problem in Act 1 and resolve it. What's up, Big Lee? How you doing? Okay, next on this class agenda is the F word. And the F stands for format. Okay? Format is very important. If a producer is not committed to you via a personal relationship with you or a personal relationship with your agent or business manager, they're not even going to read the first 10 pages. First, their reader is going to flip through the script to see if your format is on point. So you want to make sure that you follow, the precise format. And I'm about to give you the format. If you are serious about your craft and serious about screenwriting, definitely purchase Final Draft. Final Draft is the industry standard. There's a couple of others that are decent, but it's not the industry standard. If you send a PDF and it has Celtics on it or some other word processing, word processing company name, Microsoft Word, they're going to know that you're not a professional writer. It doesn't matter how great your idea is. It doesn't matter how great your story is. You have to prove that you are professional in the industry with your format. And I'm going to show you examples. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Aurora. Okay, heading. The heading tells us where. That's it. Is this scene on the beach? Is the scene in a school? Is the scene on a dock? Is the scene, like, where is it? You also tell the time of day. So this is really for the director. So the director will go through and the director will be able to say how many outdoor shots they need, how many indoor shots they need, because, you know, a movie is not filmed in the sequence that we see it on the screen. A movie is filmed when the director goes through the script and they really make a concerted effort to make sure that they are filming all the shots they need in a particular location. Hey, Alice. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of this. This is an old copy of one of my scripts. In yellow is the heading, okay? You always start with EXT or INT. EXT stands for exterior. EST stands for exterior. So the director knows that they're going to shoot this outside. My pen is not working well. Sorry. Oh, I got cheap pens because none of them are working. Okay, that's an exterior shot. Okay, and the place is the Atlantic Ocean. And then the director knows that it needs to be filmed during the day. So he's going to need to be out with the camera in daylight. And also it's important, if it's a period piece, what year is it? Okay? If it's current day, you don't have to put the year. But if it's something that's in the future or in the past, you want to put the date so that they know that, like, the boat that they use is going to have to be like a 1960s, 1970s type of boat and not something that's in the 2000s, okay? They'll know that it's a period shot. Now, if you look down here, here's an interior shot. Sorry. Here's an interior shot, and it says INT. Okay, so it's an interior shot, so I'll put interior. So that director knows that this is a shot that's going to be on the inside. And if you notice, it says Global Media, that's the name of a company, and Keisha Boatwright's office. So it's in a company, and specifically it's in a particular location within the company. Okay, so later, you know that there's going to be other parts to the company that's going to be in the script. And then last is at night, and it's 2013. So the director knows that there's a direct juxtaposition. There's a direct contrast between that opening scene in 1970 in the Atlantic Ocean and now being in a media corporation and a character's office at night. So that's going to be a different shot. Hey, Greg. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Chaz. Welcome. Okay, so that's about it for heading. If you notice in the headings that's highlighted in yellow, it's in all caps. The beauty of Final Draft, when you download it, hey, how you doing? Hey, Holly. Thank you. I'm also on Periscope as well as Facebook at the same time. Okay, so if you notice it's in all caps, you do not have to press the all caps button. For Final Draft, if you're doing a heading, you would just press the heading icon and then it will do it, it will format it for you. So if you forget, oh my goodness, headings have to be all caps, you don't have to go back through your entire script. Hey, Raina, you do not have to go back through your entire script and fix that. When you're in Final Draft, as long as you know that you're doing your heading, you press heading and it'll format it for you, okay? Next is action. A screenplay, a movie is all about action. Your characters always have to be doing something. It is not about dialogue. It is about the action. And that's a big difference between screenplays and theatrical plays on the stage. The stage is all about the verbiage, the character's dialogue. Okay? So the action. This page is filled with action because there's a lot of symbolism that I'm putting in this opening scene. And because it's going back in the day and it's going to current day, and I'm introducing new locations because it's the first page of the script, and I'm introducing new characters. All right, so the action is asterisk in green. It's starred in green. So if you look at it, it says, underwater, muted sounds of waves swaying back and forth, fire crackling, frantic words spoken in Spanish, panting interrupted by gulps of water, moans, and loud disco music, right? So I'm telling the director what I want this scene to look like, okay? This is what the director needs to capture. And then under it, notice it's not one big paragraph. I separated it. When you have different things that you're describing, different actions, you have to separate it. So a blurred vision of a crisp white yacht floats 1,500 yards away. Pockets of air bubbles float towards the surface. Those are three separate things that I need the director to be able to capture in this scene. I have to separate them because they're three different things, okay? Same thing if you have two characters in a scene. You want the characters separate, not only for the director, but for the characters. You don't want an actor to miss his or her cue because you have it all, hey, Sue, you have it all collapsed into one big paragraph, okay? So this is very dense, okay? And this is not the standard for Hollywood. I will show you the standard. But again, because of the type of screenplay that this needed to be dense, and I think in later draft, I did clean it up. Now, if you notice, down here, I introduced the main character. Her name is Keisha Boatwright. So when you introduce any character, minor character or major, when you introduce them, you have to put their name in all caps, what age they are, and a description of them. Okay? And then on the bottom, it says her action. Keisha pauses, looks at report, perplexed. Okay? In your action, you always want to write in present tense. You don't want to write in past tense. So in an updated version, I don't have perplexed. I changed it to something else. So you really have to, you don't want ED words, you don't want ING. If you have your script already started, go back and make sure everything is present tense. Take off the INGs, take off the EDs, okay? And sometimes, like as writers, if you're anything like me, I go ahead and I flesh it out. I flesh the story out in my language, and then I go back and I fix it, because your editing process, we'll get to that later, there's going to be a lot of editing to your writing process, okay? And let me see if there's anything else. Okay, let's read her description. Okay, Keisha Boatwright, 30, African-American, eloquent professional. Pecks on the adding machine in a luxurious office in a high-rise building with picturesque window overlooking Pittsburgh skyline. Okay, so I give a description of her actions, and the description of the office as well. Okay. Hey, Tommy, welcome. All right, that's it for action. If you miss anything, if you came in late, if you left early, what's up, James? Do not worry. This is going to stay up on my page. Eventually, everything is just going to move and live in Little Pro Productions page. It's uploaded. It'll be uploaded there, too, at the end of this. And the URLs are in the description of this video. You can just click it on or cut and paste it and go there. It will also be on YouTube. So any previous classes, you can go to the Little Pro page or you can go to YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. I appreciate it. Comment. If anybody made any comments, if anybody has any questions, hey, I cannot, thank you. I cannot see them. All I can see is some people who entered the room, and I don't want to mess up. I see, it looks like 2 comments. Hi, Nisa. Hey, Sheila. Yeah, I can't see any comments. So if you have any questions or comments, I will definitely go back after the video and I will answer them. So look out for the notification because my answer is coming. Okay. And then the last thing for structure for today, dialogue. How 2 characters or characters speak and how you write that dialogue in a screenplay. Okay, so again, if you get Final Draft, all you do is press the dialogue icon and it will format it for you. So if you see on this page, in orange, I have the character's name. Final Draft is going to put it in all caps for you and put it where it belongs on the page. Like readers and producers who read scripts for a living are going to know if you're off. If you try to emulate this in Microsoft Word, they're going to know that you're off because they're just so used to seeing and where it's supposed to be on the page, okay? And I don't own stock in Final Draft, so I'm not trying to sell it because I'm profiting. I'm just letting you know what the industry standard is. Okay, so if you notice on the second character's line, Giovanni, underneath it, it says sings, okay? This is called a parenthetical. This is when the writer needs to make sure that they convey that the character is saying this in a particular way. You don't want to do it for every character, for every line, just when it's needed. Because otherwise, you're going to allow the actor to interpret, as well as the director to interpret how things should be said if they think so. But there's something in your gut as a writer that says, this has to be said this way. You want to make sure that you put that in, but don't have a whole bunch of them, okay? So in this case, Giovanni is singing, okay? It's nighttime. They're about to leave work. We like to party, hey, okay? So that's what him, and if you notice on the next one, Vicky and Giovanni, there's another parenthetical that says sings, and they're doing the a together, okay? Because if I just left it, we like to party, this director may be thinking it's a West Coast rap song that he knows, you know what I mean? Or a poem or something. So you just want to make sure that you put emphasis where it's needed, okay? And if you notice on this page, it's not as dense as the first page. But because I'm introducing new characters, it's a little dense at the top. So I'm introducing Vicky O'Connor and Giovanni Evangelista. Okay? Now I'm going to show you a copy of a page where I'm not introducing new characters. It's in the first act, and the page is mostly white. This is what the majority of your pages need to look like. If it has more black, you gotta go back and you gotta revise it. You gotta cut out words, okay? It's standard. Readers and producers don't want to read a whole bunch. You got to get straight to the point. Director is not going to want to read a whole bunch. You got to convey what you need to convey in shorthand Complete sentences, but like really shorten the pace, take out extra words. It's not a novel. Okay, get to the point. Okay, Liam turns to face Keisha, and then there's dialogue. Liam, dialogue, Victoria, and then there's action. Liam holds his hand in the hold position, and then Liam has dialogue. Liam waves report. Victoria, dialogue. Liam holds his hand up. Liam, dialogue. So you see how it's action, action, dialogue, action, dialogue, action, dialogue. Okay? And this is like, I think, a first draft copy of the script. It wasn't edited. So this is just what I'm using for today's purposes. Okay. So the next thing, if you are serious or someone that you love is serious, and this is Kwanzaa. And for Kwanzaa, the concept is basically to go against the cultural norms, not the religious norms of Christmas, but the cultural norms and what it has become. A very commercial-based celebration by the giving of gifts. So for Kwanzaa, there's a giving of gifts as well on the last day, and I think that's Naya. The character in one of my scripts' name is Naya, so I always get confused, and I spell it the same way as Nia, the Kwanzaa principal. So this book is Save the Cat. If you want to get yourself something for Kwanzaa, or somebody that you know is interested in screenwriting, this is an industry standard. Read this book. It's going to help prepare you, help you to internalize or most of the industry standards. It's going to give you a great foundation. You can find this on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I mean, I guarantee if you go into Barnes & Noble, there's a copy of it. This is just like industry standard. And when I started off on my journey, I did not know about this until I went to a conference in California, and someone who I became friends with, another writer, put me onto it, and other writers co-signed. And then I started to take classes because I noticed that I did not have the tools necessary. And so in those classes where professional writers who have sold in Hollywood, they co-sign again. This is the industry standard. So now I'm giving it to you. The thing is that you really want to make sure that your script and you are totally prepared so that when you have the opportunity to shop your script, you are prepared for questions. You are prepared for people's antics. You are prepared to succeed. Okay? So, hey, Goose. If you have any questions, you can ask. I will get back to you because I don't see any comments or any questions. I see that 2 comments by Lana and Kat were put up, but I don't see what the comments are. And when I click them on, I get nothing. Okay, so if you have any questions, definitely hit me up here. You can hit me up at the Facebook page, Little Pro Productions, LLC. You can hit me up on Snapchat, Little Pro Pro. LinkedIn, Randa Easton Johnson. Hit me up. All right? So thank you, everybody in Periscope who came through, everybody on Facebook who came through. I'm going to upload this video onto YouTube. Please go to the YouTube page. Even if you're not a screenwriter, like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Happy writing. Next class is on Tuesday. Next class is on Tuesday, and we're either going to do genre or editing and revising. Maybe both. Maybe both. Okay? Have a great one. Bye.